Why is Zeke frustrated? Talk me through what's going on with him.
Well, he's not used to running through the holes that he was used to running through his rookie year when he rushed for 1,600 yards. And that's because he had Witten and he had Dez Bryant on the outside who could stretch the field, who had the threat of stretching the field. He may not have shown it in numbers, but at least he was out there. Now he doesn't have those pieces and parts. And now they're going to have to lean on him week in and week out, maybe touching the ball, probably a total this year, close to 400 yards in passing, and catching the football and running the football. And they're going to have to lean on him because he's their best player. And that's where the frustration lies. I've been in that situation with the Titans.
Right.
You know, I mean, I had to touch it 400 times a year, 300 times a year because of our lack of success in the passing game. And that's where the frustration lies. He's going to have games like that, and he's going to have some great games as well.
You mentioned the Titans and your great career that you started there. Kind of give us some of the similarities. You and Zeke, both coming from Ohio State, used to carrying the workload, but I knew Eddie George, and Eddie George was happy to see Steve McNair when he started to develop. Wycheck when he developed as a tight end. Dyson as a wide receiver. Derek Mason.
Right.
What is Dallas doing to Zeke and his career? Because I believe with the lack of explosive players, they're altering his career arc compared to what it could have been like a player like yourself.
Listen, I get where you're going because they're going to have to lean on him a lot more right now. I think through the draft, through free agency, they're going to have to address those pieces and parts to get Dak Prescott some explosive players on the outside. They got to find a tight end who can control the middle of the field. That's the bottom line. You can deal with a guy that's not explosive on the outside, but you got to have a tight end that can create matchup problems, that can convert third downs, so it's not all on Zeke to constantly get the 3rd and 1s, or he's the receiver. I mean, it's going to wear and tear. I mean, the guy was limping off the field the other night, and I kind of know what he's going through with that whole situation.
Well, you know it better than just about anybody. I mean, it basically, since Earl Campbell, I would say, which obviously same organization or at least organizational structure as yours, like, there hadn't been a running back who had the level of carries you had that didn't break down immediately after. We saw guys do it for 1 year. Larry Johnson did it for a year, broke down. Jamal Anderson broke down. Well, you can go down the list. What do you think was it about? Was it anything you did that allowed you to deal with it, or was it just innate? Because what would you tell Zeke on how to deal with a potential 400-touch year, or is it just it was just in you? You were just
I would tell Zeke to have a chiropractor, a masseuse therapist, an ice tub, everything. Get your rest, because it's going to come down to taking care of your body the best way. Yoga, whatever it takes to get recovery, because they're going to have to really rely on this. That's what I did when I played, and it wasn't tough. Every Monday, Tuesday, I was dealing with some type of injury, whether it was a cracked rib, busted toe, knees, shoulders. I mean, you name it, I had the issue. But it takes will and desire to do it. And I think Zeke can definitely get it done. But the organization, they're going to have to address supporting with some other players that can take the pressure off him so he can have a longer career.
Is there another way they can support him? I mean, we've sort of changed from your era. We're no longer really seeing that workhorse running back. We're seeing more the dual threat to maybe save them a little bit, let them pass a little bit. And we talked a little bit about that at the beginning of the season, that they'd use Zeke more like that. Is that another way that this organization can help protect him a little bit?
They can. I think they have other guys that bring in off the bench to help Zeke with the workload. But he's such an explosive. Rod Smith, another Buckeye.
Take some of those
take some of the carries. But it's going to be difficult to win games that way. They need 21 on the field. When he's on the field, whether he's at 80%, 70%, he's the best player on the field for them. And he's the best option to score, move the chains, and control the game. He helps their defense because he's constantly moving the chains.
Right. Give us some of the things, the intangibles that you see in Zeke that you think which make him special and the reason why he's going to have a long career. Because you talk about running backs, you like Todd Gurley, you like L. Bell, but there's some things about Zeke that you think are just a little exceptional as far as running backs.
His runs after contact. he's constantly going forward. He makes that contact. He's breaking tackles. And that's what I like about Ezekiel, his ability to jump cut. I mean, everybody talked about the offensive line for Dallas and how they were able to open up gaping holes. But when it's not there, he's creating his own hole. And that's what makes him special. He did a jump cut the other night against Houston where it wasn't there, bounced outside, and still got 4 or 5, 10 yards. So he's able to do that. That's what makes him truly special. And he's a load to bring down. I mean, when he hits you, it's like a linebacker hitting you. And that's how I love running backs that imposes their will on defenders. And that's what he does.
You mentioned your Titans teams with Steve McNair, and rest in peace. He missed. He didn't miss. He sat his first 2 years. And when he first started playing, he was not the guy he was.
Right.
But when you guys went to the Super Bowl, when he won a league MVP, so how did you see Steve progress? And when Dak's obviously very different, played immediately, his best football was immediately and has seemed to regress. And are there anything Dak could pull from the way Steve's career went that you could say?
Well, I'll just say with Steve, he kind of struggled earlier on with injuries. He didn't have the confidence. With a quarterback, you have to have confidence. I mean, there were times when the fans would boo him early in his career, and he was giving his all. It wasn't until I got injured and the offense kind of flipped, and they had to say, okay,
had to go through him.
We have to go through Steve, and we have to get the pieces and parts that make him comfortable. And for him, it was running back by committee. It was getting 5 wides. It was opening it up. It was allowing him to get on the perimeter, be an athlete in space. And then you watched his knowledge from grammar school in terms of being a quarterback to being a PhD. He was manipulating defenses, calling it out, running his own plays at the line of scrimmage. So it was over a 2-year period we were able to see him once they ran the offense through Steve McNair.
We're trying to figure out, speaking of quarterbacks, who Dak Prescott is. I think a lot of people have an idea who he is this year. We thought we knew after that first year looked great. Took a step back in that second year. And now this is the year where we're like, which way is it going to go?
Listen, defensive coordinators get paid a lot of money in this league. And once they get like a year, a body of work on somebody, they put those red dots on you on Wednesday.
Yes.
They're going to say, okay, he likes to do this, and this. We're going to make him beat him. Let's see Dak in Prescott in the pocket. If he can beat us in the pocket consistently, then, okay, we'll give him that just due. But he can't do that right now because they took away the blanket and the security blanket.
It really seems like you think that the Witten surprise retirement hurt him.
Oh, no question. It sure did. Des Bryant hurt. But Witten really hurt because you saw the big plays on third down. Witten would get open. He was an old man still
yes,
getting open on these young guys. And he moved the chains for them. And it was another option other than Zeke to try to churn out those third downs. He was that guy he could rely on. So what we're seeing out of Dak right now is he's in the crossroads of saying, okay, he's taken a couple steps back as a quarterback, but now he's got to find ways to win games off of pure will and hopefully galvanize those guys and develop them to make plays for them downfield. So,
Eddie, tell us a little bit about the organization that you're working with right now.
Yes,
I know you came here just to see the Buckeye. I know that. I'm in New York. Let me go back on my Buckeye.
I came to see Cris. Came to first to get a slice of pizza and talk about ball four.
Drop a few votes for Haskins as Heisman Trophy. Eddie does have a vote.
I really like him. That's a whole other story.
Yeah. We
College football segment.
Yes.
No, ball four. I've been an ambassador for them for about a year now. There's a program called Thrive. They partner with middle schools, high schools, universities, colleges through various programs to help inspire the youth, to motivate them, to build leaders through various programs throughout the country. It's been an amazing job. They hire great motivational speakers. They really do a great job of keeping everyone accountable of being great leaders in their community. So I've been a part of this great deal, and that's what I'm here for.
He's been a leader no matter where he's been. I was at his first practice at Ohio State. He came over from Valley Forge. I was like, who's the guy from the Bengals on the Buckeyes now? So I met him since then. He's been a great example for Buckeyes out there, young and old, been a great example in the NFL, multiple places there in the NFL. Always has been a leader and a role model. Yeah. Thank you, bro, for who
Cris,
you are.
Always a pleasure. Congratulations on this.
Thank you.
This is really nice.
Thank you so much. Eddie, thanks a million.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.